Hare Krishna.
Small intro. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. We are very, very fortunate to have with us His Grace Karuna Chandra Prabhu. The Karuna Chandra Prabhu is from ISKCON Punjabi Bagh Temple. And Prabhuji got connected during his last year of BTech in the year 2005 when he was studying there. And then after joining, he joined in 2010 full-time to dedicate his life for Prabhupada's mission. His first service after joining was college preaching. Very successfully he was doing. And then his spiritual master, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, gave him service of fund collection. So since 2010, he is doing fund collection. And now Prabhuji is the worldwide number 2 youngest fund collector in the entire world. And he collected more than once 4.5 crores in a year, 4.5 crores. Prabhuji also vice president in Punjabi Bagh Temple, and he is director of Value Education Olympiad, which recently happened. And for this Olympiad, more than 5 lakh students participated across 15 countries. So very fortunate to have Prabhuji with us in ISKCON Hyderabad. So we like to heartily welcome him and express gratitude to him by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namaste Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva, Subhadra Jaya Sudarshana. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Shishi Gaura Nitai. Jaya Shachi Mata Pran Dhan Gaura Hare, Vishnu Priya Pran Dhan Gaura Hare. Gauranga 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 Gaur Hari. Jayo Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Nityananda Rai, Jayo Nityananda Rai. Nityananda, 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 Gaur Hari. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Nittai Gaur Premanande. हरे कृष्णा. जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन जी की, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, जगत गुरु शील प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. हरे कृष्णा. तो मैं आप सब लोगों का तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूँ. क्लासेस हिंदी और इंग्लिश. English. English. Classes to be in English. Huh? Okay, okay. So I heartily welcome all of you in today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. And we are discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 28, Text 50, which I think is being shown in the screen. So I'll recite the verse and you can recite after me. Chittim darumayim chitva tassam patyu kalevaram adipya chanu marane vilapanti manodade chittim darumayim chitva tassam patyuha kalevaram adipya chanu marane vilapanti manodade chittim darumayim chitva tasyam patyuha kalevaram adipya chanu marane vilapanti manodade. So in the interest of time, I'll just request one Prabhuji and one mother to recite this verse and then we'll start our discussion. Thank you. So I'll read word to word translation, the verse translation, and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Word to word translation. Chittim, funeral pyre. Darumayam, made with wood. Chitva, having piled up. Tasyam, on that. Patyuha, of the husband. Kalevaram, body. Adipya, after igniting. Cha, also. Anumarane, to die along with him. Vilapanti, lamenting. Manaha, her mind. Dade, fixed. Translation. She then prepared a blazing fire with firewood and placed the dead body of her husband upon it. When this was finished, she lamented severely and prepared herself to perish in the fire with her husband. Purport. It is the long-standing tradition of the Vedic system that a faithful wife dies along with her husband. This is called Sahamaran. In India, this system was prevalent even to the date of British occupation. At that time, however, a wife who did not wish to die with her husband was sometimes forced to do so by her relatives. Formerly, that was not the case. The wife used to enter the fire voluntarily. The British government stopped this practice, considering it inhuman. However, from the early history of India, we find that when Maharaj Pandu died, he was survived by two wives, Madri and Kunti. The question was whether both should die or one should die. After the death of Maharaj Pandu, his wives settled that one should remain and the other should go. Madri would perish with her husband in the fire and Kunti would remain to take charge of the 5 Pandav children. Even as late as 1936, we saw a devoted wife voluntarily enter the fire of her husband. This indicates that a devotee's wife must be prepared to act in such a way. Similarly, a devoted disciple of the spiritual master would rather die with the spiritual master then failed to execute the spiritual master's mission. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead comes down upon this earth to re-establish the principles of religion, so his representative, the spiritual master, also comes to re-establish religious principles. It is a duty of the disciples to take charge of the mission of the spiritual master and execute it properly. Otherwise, the disciples should die, should decide to die along with the spiritual master. In other words, to execute the will of the spiritual master, the disciple should be prepared to lay down his life and abandon all personal considerations. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So hopefully my voice is audible to everyone. Is my voice audible, Prabhuji? Is my voice audible? Okay, thank you. So before I begin, I would like to seek blessings of Prabhuji and all the senior Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavas indeed, so that I can speak that gives pleasure to the Lordships, to the Guru Parampara, and it establishes the right Siddhanta. So in this particular pastime, I was asked to go till 9 o'clock. So I'll try to, this is a very big topic, but I'll try to summarize my words within 20 minutes and then give the space for question and answers. Hopefully I'll be able to do justice to this topic in 20 minutes. So in this particular topic, we are reading that Narad Muni meets a very famous king, King Prachin Barishit, and Narad Muni sees that the king is steeped in sense gratification. And the king is bereft of the knowledge of the real value of life. So out of his mercy, Narad Muni wanted to instruct the king in such a way that the king understands the purpose of life and lives a life according to those instructions and goes back home, back to Godhead. But Narad Muni realized that if he simply gives a straightforward instruction that the life is not meant for sense gratification, it is meant to attain the Lord, the king would not understand his words. So what does Shri Narad Muni do? Narad Muni, he gives a story of an imaginary person called Puranjan, which actually resembles exactly King Prachin Barishit. And through that story, Narad Muni is actually giving instruction to King Prachin Barishit. Instead of a direct instruction, he is trying to narrate a story so that the king can, without a personal attack, he can accept that story and he can also accept the teachings from that story. And in that story, what happens is that there is a king, King Vedarbh, and he has his daughter who gets married to Puranjan and he dies. And now Vedarbhi, when she finds that her husband is dead, she prepares. Why was it abolished? What was the understanding behind Sati? Because if in the modern world, if we talk about Sati, it will be taken as something which is very inhuman, as Srila Prabhupada writes. Why is a wife expected to die with the husband? And why only the wife? If the wife dies before, why the husband should not enter the funeral pyre of the wife? Why everything is applicable to the wife and not to the husband? All these arguments would naturally surface. So, and then discussion would go into an arena where they would say that the Vedic system is pro-male, it's against feminism. And therefore we have this women rights, a struggle for women rights, and how women want an equal right to man, and that girls should stand in the same breath as a boy. So we'll just understand why this system of right of this sati was there and why was it abolished. So Srila Prabhupada in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam describes an episode where it's a long pastime, but to cut it short, Vidur inspires Dhritarashtra to leave the kingdom when the whole battle of Kurukshetra is over and all the Kuru Vanshis are dead. So Dhritarashtra is left alone. And Dhritarashtra actually contrived the whole battle. And Vidurji wanted that at the fag end of his life, how he can bring some benefit to Dhritarashtra. So Vidurji inspired him that now is the time that he should give up his family life and prepare for his next life. He should go to the forest and do tapasya and purify his existence and get a better life in his next birth. So as Vidurji inspires Dhritarashtra to leave his home, Dhritarashtra in the middle of the night quits his home and goes into a forest without even telling his wife Gandhari. But somehow Gandhari was so chaste to her husband, Dhritarashtra's body to fire enters into that fire. Srila's body to fire enters into that fire. Srila Prabhupada in that purport explains that why would a chaste wife actually enter into the pyre of a husband? Because the fire of separation from the husband would be more intolerable than the fire of the funeral pyre. So a wife would feel that living a life in separation with the husband would be more troublesome than actually entering the funeral pyre. So out of her own will, just to be with her husband, she would enter the funeral pyre and voluntarily give up her life. That was the chastity of a woman in the Vedic times. But as time progressed, and specifically in this degraded age of Kali Yuga, that is not possible. Even to think of that chastity is not possible. But eventually what happened was that because this tradition was there, eventually the relatives started forcing even a wife which didn't want to actually enter the funeral pyre. Out of the compulsion of the relative, she had to enter the funeral pyre. That was inhuman. That is not allowed in the Vedic system. It had to be a voluntary choice. If a wife felt that her life would be more miserable without her husband, then she would voluntarily accept the ritual of sati. It was never forced. But in recent times, it was forcefully done. That was inhuman. So Raja Ramchandra Roy and the British government actually abolished this ritual of sati. And that was rightly done. No doubt about it. But the whole point was the emphasis on chastity. Now we see in recent times that it is so common that we see people engage in illicit activities. I know one devotee, he's from our temple in Delhi. He got a job in Hyderabad. Not to target a particular place, but just to give an example. So he got a job in Hyderabad, in one of the cyber cities in Hyderabad. Hyderabad is known as a cyber city. So there's an IT park nearby. And he got a job in an IT company. And when he came here and he joined that office, so he was sharing me after a few months, he was sharing me that, Prabhuji, the natural, normal culture of that office is that it is supposed that you should have a wife at home and a wife in office. and a wife to go out, and a wife to spend a night with. And a lady also has a husband at home, a husband in office, and husband to roam around and a husband to sleep with. And it is very normal. And if you don't have these respective people in their places, then they will feel they are infidel. Maybe you don't have that sexual power. So it is so common, even in land of dharma. And now, to not expect that a husband would have an extramarital affair or wife would have an extramarital husband, it is like you're not of the modern times. It's so common. A child, as soon as he enters school and he comes to class 2 or class 3, he starts to see pornography. Pornography is so common. I mean, it's like everyone has to see pornography. No one can live without pornography. And it is bound that masturbation is natural. And we have movies in Bollywood and Hollywood to showcase that it is normal to actually masturbate, normal to see pornography. It is fine if you are a prostitute or if you are into adultery. It is absolutely okay. And our heroes and our idols are those. The more adultery he is in, more power he has, and I mean, better hero he stands, better heroine he stands. That is the culture that is normally what is prevalent in our society today. But it was unthinkable in the ancient times because the emphasis was on chastity. And then our scripture says that this chastity has so much power that it can do unimaginable things. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in the Antya Leela, in the last chapters of the Shishtastakam prayers, there is a particular episode where Radharani is saying that what is love? She says that love is actually when we serve the other person for the pleasure of the other person. Normally, whatever we say as love in this material world is lust. A boy likes a girl because the girl is pleasing to him. And a girl likes a boy because the boy is pleasing to the girl. So till the time they are pleasing each other, they stay together. Because that is lust. As soon as the boy dissatisfies the girl or the girl dissatisfies the boy, they separate. Love at first sight, divorce at first fight. Love at first sight and divorce at the very first fight. This is the modern culture. But love actually means, scripture says that love means when we work for the other person's pleasure. So love is not in the material world. If we have a glimpse of love, it can be seen in the relationship between a mother and a son. Because mother tries to serve the son only for the pleasure of the child. A glimpse. And a child reciprocates with the mother just to please the mother. So Radharani says that if Krishna abandons me and goes to another gopi, and if that gopi pleases Krishna more, and if that gopi envies me, what I will do? And out of envy for me, gopi leaves Krishna and Krishna is lamenting, I will go to that gopi and beg her that you please accept my Krishna and satisfy Krishna. That is the love of Radharani. So Radha and Krishna, normally people misunderstand that Radha and Krishna are just like the love affair of a boy and a girl. No. Like Krishna is not a boy, Radharani is not a girl. So their loving affairs is not the lust of this material world. So what I wanted to say that there Radharani gives an example. It's a very starking example. And Radharani in the Antya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter number 20, verse number 57, she quotes from Markandeya Puran and Padma Puran. She tells that in ancient times there was a Brahmani who married a Brahmana who was a leper. Now who's a leper? One who has contracted leprosy. Kushrog. So what happened is that this Brahmani was very chaste to her husband. The crest jewel of her quality was that she was very chaste. Although her husband was a leper, he was afflicting from leprosy, still she would very lovingly serve her husband. Imagine if you have a husband who is contracted with leprosy, and leprosy is contagious. If you serve a patient with leprosy, you can also contract leprosy. But still, out of chastity for her husband, she would serve her husband whatever the husband wanted. So Radharani is giving the example of this lady. And what happens is that Brahmana, because he's not able, because his heart is unclean, not only his body is unclean, his heart is also unclean. Because he's not satisfied with his chaste wife, what happens one day, he sees a prostitute going. And when he sees a prostitute going, so what happens is that he gets this desire to have a union with that prostitute. And somehow, while that Brahmani is serving her husband, she gets this idea. She gets the desire of her husband. That the husband doesn't want to be with her and he wants to have a union with the prostitute. So she becomes very disturbed. And she feels that maybe my service is not up to the mark, therefore my husband is not loving me. And then she feels that what is the duty of a chaste wife? The duty of the chaste wife is to satisfy my husband. And what is the husband wanting? The husband wants to unite with that prostitute. So my duty is to satisfy my husband's desire. So, killing her heart, she decides that she would go to the prostitute and request her. Now she understands that how could a prostitute unite with a Brahmana who is a leper, who has leprosy? No lady would do that, even out of money. So what she does is that she goes in the middle of the night to that brothel where that prostitute is living. And what she does is that she, without telling anyone, she cleans that brothel. That dirty brothel she cleans whole night. And she comes back. The next day when the prostitute wakes up late in the day, she finds that the whole brothel is cleaned. Normally the brothel is very untidy and very unclean. So the prostitute was surprised, how come this brothel is so clean? So she's not able to understand. Anyhow, she gives up the thought. And in the second night also, the lady comes and in the middle of the night, she cleans the whole brothel. And this happens for a few days. And that prostitute decides to wake up in the night to understand that who is actually cleaning this dirty brothel. And then she finds this lady in the middle of the night coming with a broom and a bucket and cleaning that whole dirty place. She would dirty that brothel and she would come and clean it. And then seeing her selfless service, she starts to cry and picks the hand of that lady. And she said, why are you cleaning this dirty brothel? Who has told you to do that? The wife says, no one has told me. And why are you doing it? Because I want to satisfy you. Yeah, the prostitute says, I'm satisfied. You tell me what is your desire. So the lady says that, if I ask you, will you satisfy her? The prostitute says, yes, I will satisfy you. Tell me, you have won my heart out of your selfless service. The lady says that my desire is that my husband doesn't like me, but he likes you. So I want that you satisfy his desire. The only problem is that he's a leper. He's suffering from leprosy. Can you fulfill this desire? That prostitute starts to cry more. She thinks that what kind of heart this lady is carrying. How can a lady come to me and tell me that I should go and unite with her husband? I mean, how can such a lady exist in this world? This world is not for such a person. Like Prabhupada used to say that this world is not for a gentleman. She's a lady of the highest character. How come she's living here? So anyhow, she says, okay, you bring my husband, even if she's contracted with leprosy, I'll unite with him to satisfy you. So lady goes and tells her husband that the prostitute has agreed, you come with me. The Brahmana is surprised, how come the prostitute agreed? So anyhow, he becomes very happy, and now his lust is to its peak, and he starts dreaming how he will satisfy his lust with the prostitute. And that lady picks up her husband on her back and walks the way to the brothel. And when the Brahmana reaches that brothel, the wife leaves that brothel and goes away from that place, crying. And the prostitute is also crying. And that prostitute, when he sees that Brahmana, somehow the prostitute starts cursing that Brahmana. He says that, what kind of husband you are? You have got such a chaste wife. Because of her chastity, she won my heart. She came and cleaned the brothel for so many days just to satisfy me so that I can satisfy your bloody body. So how fortunate you are to have such a wife. Okay, I can unite with you, but not only my body is dirty, my heart is also dirty, my intentions are dirty, my whole existence is dirty. Why do you want to be with a dirty person like me and not be with such a pure personality like your wife? When a Brahmana hears this, he also understands that, my Lord, how can this happen? How can I forego my wife for this lady? So he decides that, no, I can't be unchaste to my chaste wife. So he decides that he will not unite with the prostitute. So he calls her wife and says that, I am really sorry, I really beg forgiveness for whatever I desired. Your purity has won my heart. So please take me away from this place and please bless me so that I can also become at least pure from my heart. If this body is dirty, I can't do anything, but I can purify my heart. So please bless me, my heart can also be purified. So what happens that this lady, the chaste lady, carries her husband back to their home. So in between what happens, Markandeya Rishi was doing meditation. So when that lady was going, unknowingly, the foot of that Brahmana with leprosy touches Markandeya Rishi and his meditation breaks. And when Markandeya Rishi decides that this person with leprosy has touched me, so I will also contract leprosy, he becomes very angry and curses the Brahmana to die before sunrise. He says that before the sun actually rises tomorrow morning, this Brahmana would die. If I have done any austerity, my Lord, please kill this Brahmana before sunrise. And who listens this curse of the Brahmana? The Brahmana's wife. Brahmana said, my dear Lord, if I followed the principle of chastity, let sun not rise. Let the sun not rise, my Lord, today, if I have followed the dharma of chastity. Who is telling this episode? Radharani from Padma Puran and Markandeya Puran. She is telling this episode. What is chastity? And in that episode, what happens is that sun does not rise. It becomes 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, mid-afternoon, and sun does not rise. So let us come to a truce. Let us find a middle solution. So let the sun rise. As soon as sun will rise, the curse of Markandeya Rishi will stand true and your husband will die. But you will fulfill your desire and give new life to your husband. And he'll be free from leprosy also. So wife agrees. And the settlement is done. Sun rises. The Brahmana dies. Markandeya Rishi is happy. And then Lord Vishnu gives new birth to the Brahmana and frees him from leprosy. And the wife is also very happy. And then wife takes the cured husband and they live happy thereafter. So the point is that Sati was done out of chastity. Now Srila Prabhupada draws a very wonderful example. He says that a disciple should also be similarly chaste to his spiritual master. And when the spiritual master leaves his body, the disciple should lay his life to fulfill the mission of the spiritual master, fulfill the instruction of the spiritual master. And we have a glaring example. I don't know Prabhuji's name. So you all will be happy to know, many would be knowing also. So Srila Prabhupada around 50 years before, when he installed and he started this temple, he gave instruction to Anandmay Prabhu to serve in this temple Shri Radha Madan Mohan Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Shri Gaur Nitai till the end of his life. And Prabhuji belongs to France. He became devotee in France. Srila Prabhupada instructed him to come to Hyderabad. Such a difference in culture, French culture and South Indian culture, such a big difference. But just to please the will of the spiritual master, this Anand mein Prabhu spent his entire life, 50 years serving this temple. And he's still serving, I think. So he is exemplifying this verse, this purport, that what is the quality of a true disciple? Whatever the spiritual master wants, he is ready to sacrifice his life to fulfill the mission of the spiritual master. Else he should die with the spiritual master. This is what Prabhupada is saying. And Prabhupada did that. Prabhupada disciples did that. And Prabhupada says that we should do without any personal considerations. Srila Prabhupada went to Russia. And he went to Russia. So what happened that he met one Russian person and he initiated that person. He was in Russia just for 3 days. And this in 3 days, he made one Russian into a devotee and initiated him into Anand Shanti Prabhu. And he left Russia. But he knew that Anand Shanti Prabhu is all alone. How he would manage a movement in a Soviet country all alone? He needs someone. So Srila Prabhupada after Russia went to London. And as soon as he reached London, one Srila Prabhupada disciple, her name was Mandakini. She paid obeisances to Prabhupada, not knowing anything else. As soon as she paid obeisances to Prabhupada, she lifted herself and Prabhupada saw this girl and Prabhupada said that, Mandakini, would you fulfill my order? Mandakini said, Prabhupada, you have fulfilled your order and came all the way 7 seas to America to deliver us. I'll be very happy to satisfy you. What can I do for you? Prabhupada said, I have a disciple, Anand Shanti in Russia. Can you go and marry him? Mandakini Mata said, Prabhupada, if you wish that I should go and marry an unknown person in Russia to satisfy his mission in Russia, I agree. And Mandakini Mataji, without knowing that boy, without any personal consideration whether I would like that boy or not like that boy, in Vedic tradition you marry only once. There is no divorce in Vedic tradition. So, considering the will of the spiritual master superior, Mandakini Mataji went to Russia, married Anand Shanti Prabhu, and they together spread the mission in Russia, and now the fastest growing religion in Russia is Hare Krishna. Because of sacrifice of 2 very exalted disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So what I wanted to say was that this is Vedic tradition. That Vedic tradition is that what is love? This is done out of love. What is the definition of love? Definition of love is how I can satisfy the other person. So the goal of human life is to develop such a genuine love for the Lord and for the spiritual master. And if you can develop that love, if you can serve the Lord and the spiritual master just to satisfy them, we can make our life perfect and go back home, back to Godhead. So I had many things to say, but time is limited. Hope I could do some justice to the topic. I know the topic is very intense and maybe it requires proper justification. But just before I end, I would like to say that although in one sense a lady is supposed to be chaste to her husband, but scriptures also say that a lady should not be chaste to a non-devotee husband, one who is averse to Krishna. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya invites Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for lunch, and when he is feeding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's son-in-law Amogha criticized Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during the lunch time and runs from that place, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, understanding that he has criticized the Lord, tells his daughter Sati to forego her husband. And he quotes from scripture that Patitcha patitam tyajit, that a patit husband, a fallen husband, who is averse to the Lord should be forsaken. So if a husband is an ideal devotee, then a wife should be a chaste lady for such a husband. And then both can progress and go back home, back to Godhead. So this I wanted to say in this limited time. Thank you very much. If there's any question, we can take one question or 2 questions and then we can end the class. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If there's any question, you can ask.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, in this example, since this movement is growing very fast, there are many cases we see that initially there is a phase of sentimentality, right? So, under the name of sacrifice, let us say someone takes such decisions which people may regret later. So, not just about women, but even in men. So, there is a very high possibility that after we listen to such pastimes, we develop that kind of sentimental
Yeah,
attitude.
yeah.
So, how do we tackle that?
Thank you for that question. Yeah, thank you. It's very important because scriptures give very extreme examples and scriptures give ideal examples. And normally, it is very difficult to come to ideal standard in just one step. So, thank you for raising this point. So, sometimes when we hear these pastimes, we may also imitate. We may not be at that standing, and we may imitate these pastimes, and then come to a point that we may regret our decision, and then we may become averse to the Lord and averse to the devotees, averse to the spiritual master. It may so happen. That is possible. So everything that we should do, we should do in consultation with the spiritual master and senior Vaishnavas, so that the element of sentimentalism is not there. But instead of taking a choice with our own mind, we should take guidance from superiors. And superiors understanding the practicality of the situation, sometimes they may change the decision. Just like Srila Prabhupada when he was in New York, if I remember correctly, he ordered one of her lady disciples to marry one of her male disciples. And the lady disciple didn't want to marry that person. And then Satsuru Mas writes in his book that, that lady disciple became very disturbed. And then Satsuru Mas came and informed Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada said that, okay, no problem. If she doesn't want to marry, that's fine. She can marry someone else. So he changed the decision also. So, so the best way to do that is to make, before any decision, we should take consultation from our superiors, from the spiritual master. And then after taking their guidance also, at the end of the day, when we take a decision, we should understand that the responsibility for that decision lies on us. And if the things don't go the way that we want, that we should not put the blame on others, on the spiritual master, on our superiors, on the Lord. So if we take a decision, we should also take a responsibility for it. Because whatever be the result of that decision, we will get the result. So if we take an extreme decision for the pleasure of the Lord, then Lord will also bestow His mercy accordingly. So we should take the responsibility of decision. We should take consultation from our superiors, from the spiritual master, and take a decision, and then hold the responsibility for the result of the decision on ourselves, not on anyone else. Like that. So best way is to be under guidance and then take a well matured decision and then be responsible for it. But take inspiration from scripture, that yes, if scriptures talk about adherence to the spiritual master, chastity to the husband, how I can take one step towards that goal, how I can become more devoted to my spiritual master, more chaste to my husband, like that. Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Salvas to Srila Prabhupada. Just now you have said that a wife should not be chaste to non-devotee husband. What does it mean, Prabhuji?
It means that if the husband, best is to marry a devotee husband, because in Srimad Bhagavatam it is said that Guru na sassat, swajano na sassat, devim na sassat, janani na sassat, devim na sassat, patin na sassat, namo chiyete samupeta mityum. Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Rishabhdev says that we should take such a spiritual master, such a husband, such a wife that can help us deliver from the cycle of birth and death. So if a husband is not a devotee, then by serving that husband we will not make spiritual progress. But if the husband is a good devotee, by serving that husband, we would get half of the devotional result that husband is getting. So the wife is called Ardhagni. Ardhagni means that whatever spiritual progress the husband makes, simply by serving a devotee husband, half of the spiritual advancement that wife also makes, along with her own advancement. She practices her own spiritual life and serves the husband. So by serving a devotee husband, she also gets the devotion that the husband gets out of his devotional service. So the best is to marry a devotee husband, so that by serving that devotee husband, we also make spiritual progress and go back home, back to Godhead. But if you serve a non-devotee husband, what happens is that by the association of a non-devotee husband, our devotion may also get subsidized, may also get compromised, and we may lose the purpose of life. It's very risky.
What if she already married to non-devotee husband?
You can leave him. Jokes apart. So what you can do is that if the husband is inclined, if you feel that the husband may get inclined, so somehow take help of other senior devotees and bring him an association of devotees. If you directly preach, it is very difficult for a husband to take any instruction from the wife, because of the male ego. So it is said in Hindi that Ghar ka yogi jogada, bahar ka yogi siddh. Have you heard this? It is said that Ghar ka yogi jogada, a devotee at home is not considered seriously. Bahar ka yogi siddh, a devotee outside is considered perfect. So if you make your husband meet with other devotees, senior devotees from the temple, he may get influence from them and also become a devotee. And the second thing is that you serve the husband in such a way that he feels that by your become a devotee, you have become a better wife. So that would make him more favorable towards devotional service. The third you can do is that offer nice prasadam to the Lordship and feed him prasadam. That prasadam would purify him. So there is a saying in English that you can win a husband's heart through the stomach. So a man's heart, the way to go to a man's heart is through the stomach. So if you prepare nice foodstuffs, offer to Krishna and feed him nice prasadam, then naturally you will win his heart. And with a favorable heart, you can bring him to Krishna. And at the end of the day, another thing the scripture says that you do your wife's duties in such a nice way. So Srila Rupa Goswami, he wrote to Lord Chaitanya that I am serving the Nawab, but I want to quit my job. What should I do? So Lord Chaitanya wrote a poem. He says that a wife who has a paramour, she serves the husband extremely well, so that the husband has no doubt that she doesn't love him. So she serves the husband in such a way that husband doesn't get any doubt, but internally she is always thinking about her paramour. So Lord Chaitanya said that you serve the Nawab in such a way that Nawab feels that you are fully devoted to him, but internally you always think of Krishna. So likewise, you serve your husband, your family very well, but internally always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So as you make spiritual progress, and because the husband also serves the wife, if he serves a pure devotee, he will also get some devotion. And lastly, you pray to Krishna to change your husband's mind, or in that particular case, that husband's mind. And Krishna may change his mind, and naturally he may get attracted to Krishna. These things you can do.
One small doubt. In ancient times, women are so chaste, Prabhuji. How they focus on Lord, devotional service.
So your question is that if a wife is chaste to her husband,
Only focus how to serve husband, how they used to have the feeling to serve Lord.
so actually, therefore, the system is to marry a devotee husband. Just like Mother Devahuti. So Mother Devahuti selflessly served Karda Muni, and Karda Muni was a great devotee of the Lord. So the settlement was that Karda Muni said that once I beget a devotee son in your womb, I would leave that home. So Karda Muni, once he begot a son in the womb of his wife, and he left his home. So Devahuti was lamenting that all my life I served Karda Muni, but I didn't learn devotion from him, and now he has gone. What will happen to me? But because of her serving a devotee husband, she begot the Supreme Lord in her womb, Lord Kapil Dev. Kapil Dev is Krishna himself. And Kapil Dev delivered his mother Devahuti, and he gave instructions to Devahuti in the third canto of Bhagavatam and delivered Devahuti. So therefore the system is that if we get married to a devotee husband, simply by serving the devotee husband, even if we don't practice a separate spiritual life, we will get half of his devotion to the Lord, and we will also make spiritual progress. But at the same time, along with the husband, we can also chant our rounds, read Bhagavatam. When he's gone to office, we can chant our rounds, we can read Shivan Bhagavatam, hear Shivan Bhagavatam, and also make spiritual progress. But if you marry a non-devotee husband, it's more difficult. But nonetheless, I know so many ladies who married non-devotee husbands and turned non-devotee husbands into devotee husbands, and both of them are progressing together. And I know such devotees mothers also who are still trying to make their husbands devotees. They have not become devotees, but no problem. They are practicing their own spiritual life and doing their household duties nicely without any obstacle. Like my own mother, my father is little inclined, not much inclined. Earlier he was not at all inclined. My mother is a very staunch devotee. At home, she is all alone in a family. No one believes so much, but every day she would get up 4 o'clock in the morning, do Mangal Aarti, chant all her 16 rounds before 7:30. She would read Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavatam. She is second initiated. Do all her duties. She would come once in a day, one day in a week. She would cook for the deities, serve Vaishnavas. She would prepare food for all the Vaishnavas. One day when she comes in the week, she would prepare for 200 people. Varied food items. She would prepare Chinese, South Indian, sweets for all temple devotees, all Vaishnavas. So just to give an example, anyone else can also do. And slowly, slowly the whole family is becoming devotees also, like that.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you for the answer.
And she told me, she, when I joined the temple, she called me once and told me, Mahiti son, I want to tell you one thing. Are you planning to join the temple? I said yes. She said, see, if you join the temple, you join in such a way, don't come back. You join to make the whole family proud. And in this age, she told me this. In this age, she said that you will find the opposite gender very attractive. But believe my words, the attraction is illusionary. I am telling you from my experience. I married your father. I also used to believe that yes, marriage is a very happy life. But eventually, marriage life is a compromise. It's not a gala life all the time. So don't fall for that opposite sex, opposite gender. Understand it's only an allurement. If you can withstand it, you can make your life perfect. She told me this. And because she was behind me, I'm still somehow surviving in this ashram. So I pray to her, I pray to you, I pray to the lordships, I pray, it's not in my control, I pray to Prabhupada, that I need all of your blessings, that I never go to that side of life. My dead body should go there. I should not go into that life. So please bless me that I can live my life for the pleasure of Guru Parampara in this ashram. Like that. I need all of your blessings. This.
Scriptures are male dominated. In our preaching, we always face this problem. As you rightly said, women question. When we refer to scripture, who wrote that? it's male. Am I right, as you said? What will be your way of dealing with such questions when the females question us?
So actually, in one sense, if you see history, women have been subject to cruelty. There's no doubt about it. And they have been subject to inhuman dealings. And we see even in India, in today's country, if you see statistics, there's female genocide, there's female infanticide. In, even in rural parts of India, if a family begets a female child, they kill that child. I don't know what is it called, infanticide, or there's some particular word. Yeah, yeah. So still in our country, this biasness is there, that they would prefer a male boy. Why? Because that is also a vested interest, that a male boy will get money, and for a female girl, we will have to shed money. We'll have to give dowry, we'll have to get her married, we'll have to give money with her. So naturally, for their own selfish purpose, actually the whole idea is, it's not about male child or female child. It is about selfish mentality. Someone who's devoid of selfish mentality doesn't make that distinction. For that person, male child is equally good as female child. Every child has his own good qualities and shortcomings. Just like in a family wants a female child because female child is very loving. More than a male child, sometimes a female child looks after parents. So parents actually want a female child because female child actually cares for the parents more even than a male child. So female child has her own advantages and a male child has his own advantages. A male child is required because female goes to her own home. So parents may stay alone. So if they have a male child, the male child can look after the parents. So it's not about who is better, a male child is better or female child is better. Just like which is better, this eye is better or this eye is better. You can't make a distinction. Both eyes have their own purpose. So the problem in today's society, why this whole issue of women rights is coming, because women were subject to cruelty. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, we can't say a woman are equal to male. Just like I can't say a Ferrari is equal to a tractor. Tractor is also a vehicle, Ferrari is also a vehicle. They serve two very separate purposes. Ferrari is a sports vehicle. Tractor is a vehicle to carry load. They have two separate purposes. So a male child has a separate purpose, female child has a separate purpose. A female can beget a child. A male cannot beget a child. So this does not mean a male is inferior, female is superior, or female is inferior, male is superior. No. They have their own respective purpose. In their own right, they are very good. They are best. So we can't compare two unequal people. A male cannot be compared to a female. What a female can do, male cannot do. What a male can do, female cannot do. Male is by nature, his body is different. His body is strong. Female body is more gentle. I mean, you can't fight nature. But that does not mean female is inferior and male is superior. It's not like that. So they serve two very separate purposes. So our principle is that we give respect to everyone. Is a male child or a female child. Both have their own importance in family. Female child should also be there, male child should also be there. Whatever Krishna gives, according to his will, we should accept. That is the right understanding.
Thank you.
Last question.
No, not the question, 1 minute. Only Prabhupada said that when Mataji asked, I remember just now that you are not this body, you are a soul.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
And
Thank
the
you.
first understanding of spiritual life is that we are
That's
not
what-
body.
I just realized when
We
you're
are
talking.
spirit, so, yeah. Last question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have one question that in our history we can see a few of the Mataji's warriors like Rani Lakshmi Bai, Ahilya Bai Holkar, Rani Lakshmi Bai and Ahilya Bai Holkar. Like these two Matajis have done commendable jobs and proved that okay they have did something really good. So can we say that that all this cruelty happened to all the different women's is because of all inventions happen in our country, or else a different thing coming from the Vedic time only?
So I didn't get your question. You said that whatever cruelty happened to women, it was not during their time.
Due to invasion happened.
Invasion.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. Why not? Uh, but actually, see, we can't pinpoint to anyone else. We have to pinpoint to ourselves. So we can't say because of the invasion, they spoiled us. In the modern world, the effect of invasion is not there, but we can't say that we are pure. So it is very easy to put the fault on others because of the invasion, because of this particular rule, because of this person, because of this kingdom, this thing happened. It may happen, that is true. But still, if I want to keep myself pure, it is possible. So instead of pinpointing on, because when we pinpoint in others, we lose the responsibility for ourselves. We put all the responsibility, all the blame, what wrong we are doing on someone else, and we get rid of our responsibility. That is very dangerous. It may happen. I'm not doubting it. It may happen. But more important than that is that we should hold ourselves accountable, ourselves responsible. Am I doing my duty right or not? Am I being selfish? Am I being cruel to others? Be it man or be it woman, be it children or be it old. So, what am I doing to keep my heart pure? What is my responsibility? I should be more concerned about my responsibility. So, if I am self-accountable, then no problem. So there may be multiple reasons, but better than that is to hold mirror in front of me and see what wrong or good I am doing, how I can improve myself instead of pointing finger at others. Okay. So thank you very much for your kind and patient hearing, and hope I could do some service to all of you. And I'm seeking blessings from all the Vaishnavas, especially this Anandmay Prabhu, that I could become an unadulterated, unflinching servant of the Guru Parampara. I seeking your blessings like yourself. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, जगत गुरु शील प्रभुपाद की, श्री राधा मदन मोहन जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुदरानी गौ निताय की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णविंद की, निताय गौर